Okay. All right, check this out. So here's the niche site case study 2023 update, lifetime stats update, whatever. Charts and graphs. Just gonna do this inside Excel. This is the like my you can see at the top. The CMA is the kind of case study code name for the income and expenses. Although I don't really track expenses like I should, so bear with me on that part. But here's what we're looking at as far as users and revenue since I started making money on the site. Right, made its first dollar in August of 2020, and here it is. How it's doing? What 3.5 years later? 2024. As you can see, users has dropped down a tiny bit, although revenue has stayed pretty stagnant, I guess. And that's entirely because a lot of they're not one-off products. I'm not selling Amazon, kitchenware. It's all people sign up. It might be a SaaS. It might be something where uh, they sign up today. If they make a purchase in 4 years, I'll get that commission, assuming I'm still a part of that program. So uh, all these earnings are just from guys signing up, way back here and spending money over here, or they're sign up and continue to, have a subscription or something. So users and revenue are not necessarily tied together. Additionally, I do have like a bunch of links just floating out in the wild on like social media or on videos on YouTube or videos on other sites, Daily Motion or whatever. Um, I'm trying to think. I do want to get into posting some of my content in a condensed version on sites like Medium or even LinkedIn, um, just to take advantage of their domain authority and the power that they have in the SERPs, and getting uh, link clicks that way. Don't necessarily need traffic to my site. Don't really care about that as much as I want. Hey, click this link, go sign up, spend some money, feed it to me. Here's a breakdown of the revenue in its entirety. From the beginning, I know my head is blocking these lower months or earlier months, but there's really not a lot going on there. So, as you can see, green is what used to be the titan of the earnings has dwindled. All right, Rome has fallen, uh, taken over by my man Mustard Yellow, and yeah, it's pretty. What was it? 5,400. Oops. Shoot, that's not gonna be. Well, we'll go all the way. Yeah, 5,410 as opposed to 520 or 5,200 in November. So upload 3.5% month over month. I don't really care about month over month as much as I care about did it make more than the same month last year. That's kind of the indicator of whether the site's doing better than and whether I should probably sell it. So there's the breakdown of all the different affiliate programs, and here's the exact same chart, but on a 100% stacked graph, so you can kind of see the ratio of what's performing. There's one major one, a little baby guy right there, and then a whole bunch of just ones and twosies, just $100, $400, $200, just that kind of just all contribute to the overall, earnings for the month. Although if this one went away, although I don't think it will, just because, well, I would have went away somewhere over here. Hey, we're in the clear. And that the great thing about this yellow one is the terms for that affiliate program haven't changed since I think the first time I signed up for it was like 2014. Same exact terms for 10 years now. So I don't think it's going anywhere. You know what I mean? And if I've been, I've had an account on there for, X months or X years now, whatever. So I think it's I'm not too worried that it's gonna go anywhere. Anyway, here's a breakdown of all the numbers for the sites multiple, just month to month. One thing that really kind of sucks is in September, my Universal Analytics went away, and I had to switch over to GA4. And so like, however page views are being tracked or whatever, it's a little fucking wonky. You know what I mean? So that's why I went from like 1.5 or like 1.25 page views per session to like 1.9. Jeez Louise. A little bit more, significantly more. And I think moving forward, it's just it just makes everything all wonked up. Whatever. And if you actually do the math on these sources are also going to be different from the users. Don't blame me, blame UA. But we had over 1 million page views for the year. A ton of sessions. It's great. Everything's great. And that's just for that site. This is the second site right here. Codename FCC, which is more or less, this was the 1.1 cent per word content that I took my main site. I said, I'm going to take the top performing posts, have them be done again, at 1.1 cent per word, and then just published them. And very not good stuff, very just dry, a lot of moreovers, a lot of just fluff bullshit text, but it's not doing terrible for what it is, and it's getting clicks over and whatever and conversions. So great. It's just another, we can say, slot in the SERPs for these keywords that I'm going after. Mostly organic, a few direct, as expected. And if that site went away, I would not notice. STM, that is the e-commerce site. As you can see, well, it's really changed a lot. The traffic sources, because it started off as all direct. It was all direct from the main site to the e-commerce site. And for whatever reason, that kind of swapped with referral, whatever the hell's going on as far as analytics go. But it finally started, getting some legs in the organic department, which is great. Kind of the same situation. Actually, there's only like 60 some posts on this site. And they weren't keyword research posts. They were all just like, hey, here's posts related to the products that are being sold. Boom. And AI generated, really kind of super niche. So I think that's why we're just kind of ranking by default on this site. Could do a lot more. Could pump it up with a ton of more articles. Almost just doing the same thing I did for FCC. And just rewriting more or less the same articles for another site. And I have a few other sites that are kind of floating around as far as doing the same thing, rewriting top performing posts. Don't really keep track of them. I will if they show anything, like as far as like, holy shit, this thing's getting 1,000 clicks per day or whatever, but they're not, so irrelevant. I track new words. I don't know why. I should just delete this because, well, I don't care. Here's a breakdown of all the kind of revenue from all the different sources. Every line here is a new affiliate program. These down here this is a white label SaaS that I had. I bought a few years ago and just kind of let it sit there. Probably just gonna let the domain expire. It's useless, or maybe set it up for free. I don't know. It's junk. These are the STM, the e-commerce site sales. You kind of see like how things go throughout the year, and this is when I started sending more emails. If you come back up here and see, emails a little bit more than previous months, because I'm like, all right, let me actually start creating stuff and marketing the stuff as opposed to just having it be like they sign up and they get a evergreen drip or something like that. What I want to do is, I'll talk about that soon. But breakdown, these are the e-commerce, or not e-commerce, the ebooks that I put on Amazon. Literally just took like 10 articles that were part of the same vertical, niche, whatever. Compiled them, removed the intros and conclusions and made it actually read and flow like a book. And funny enough, not funny, but the sales from this book have made more than the affiliate program that is being promoted in the book and on the site and everywhere else. So That's if you're writing a lot of informational content, you can look into taking that, compile it into a no shit book, ebook and physical copy with, well, CreateSpace was kind of intertwined with KDP now, or Draft Digital, or all these other sites that allow you to sell physical copies of books, and people will buy it. It's a, you know, Amazon's a big search engine, and Google and iTunes and all these other places, are iBooks or whatever it's called. Boom, you could get affiliate clicks that way. You can get sales and earnings that way, and I think I'm going to explore that more in this coming year as well. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get my face out here as much as I can. Well, this is relevant, but you know, it's a lot of sometimes they're one-off sales. It's a lot of ones where if I send a customer over, they sign up, they're going to be my customer forever. Assuming they don't, re-sign up again or whatever, or anything like that. So again, a lot of these earnings are from sign-ups like a year or two ago, and now they're like finally spending money or ramping up their spending or whatever the case is. And then you have some SaaS as well. You can see like this $14.90 that's just very consistent throughout the year. A couple of $29.80s, and it's just because they might have bought like a 1 month trial. There's some subscriptions here. There's $89 was somebody bought like a year subscription. All these things. I kind of like this. I like this, even though it's like it ain't shit. Like in the grand scheme of this site, it made up less than 0.5% of total earnings. That's one of those things that's probably not going to go away anytime soon. As far as that, that $15 a month, and then hopefully it'll be 30, and then a consistent, 60, 90, 900 just every month. Boom, it's right there like clockwork. Yeah, scrolling down, you can see the earnings every month. And I also have earnings per day, which it just seems a little bit more, I guess, easy to realize. Not like realize, but like, oh, like I that makes sense. Okay, as long as I go through my day to day and spend less than $174, I made more money this month. Or you know what I mean? And it's kind of just cool little metric, and I can see that, hey, every day this year, every single day, whether I did something or not, I made $175 every day. Like, woohoo! I sit here, I was playing video games or watch TV or reading a book or out or wherever I was every single day. Here's $175. Here's your $175. So, very cool. Sorry, I'm a little bit congested, I think. What else we got here? The month to month, change in earnings. Really just, I don't need this at all, but it's there. Expenses, I need to do a lot better job of tracking expenses. I'm terrible at it. I do have this now, this like open source time tracker. You can just refresh this and see like, oh yeah, I spent 26 minutes inside the spreadsheet. 3 minutes on this site. OBS, which is what I'm using to record. Analytics, literally right before I installed this, I just searched for open source time tracker, found this, boom, installed it, whatever. It's here. It's now. So get that figured out and set up so that way I can actually like start seeing, okay, how much time am I spending on this site? Not necessarily in Excel, but on the websites or sheets. Sorry, Google. And allocate that as far as maybe include that in the expenses and just say, yeah, okay, well, the site made, I think 64, 208, 97 is a little bit more than $30 an hour. And that's not math in my head. That was just, I actually looked it up like yesterday night or last night. So, include hours in the expenses so I can actually see like, oh, how much time did I actually spend on this? And then, if it was 10 hours a week, okay, then that was probably, the equivalent of being $110 or $120 an hour as opposed to 30. So that'll be tracked in 2024. The email software is just ActiveCampaign. The VA, she didn't really do anything for this site this year because I didn't really work on this site a ton. There wasn't a lot of new content being created. Most of the content that was created was AI generated, so I guess I should include that in there. But again, I don't track expenses yet, but I will. I promise I will this year. I have broken down earnings per vertical as well, so you can see, when I go and create like, oh, I want to create this new kind of suite of content talk about these programs, talk about these products and services, talk about this information as far as the that vertical goes. I want it broken down that we can see like, hey, which one is actually worth it? These two were not. I know this is like the subscription one. Of course, you can see the $14.90. Can't remember what exactly this was. Doesn't matter. Only made $900 last year. So these are the two I care about. These are the breadwinners. I do have an idea for another vertical I want to add like this year. If I do want to like just keep creating more content for this site, it'll get its own line item, and then we can talk about that at the end of 2024. And then at the bottom here, I do have how much the site could theoretically be sold for. This is just like the last 6 months times 25 on the low end, which would never be the case. And then we have the last 6 months times 45 on the higher end. I think if you've been following along at home, you know my kind of stance on selling a website is I would not sell this site to another niche site operator. I would only sell it to an industry professional, so to speak. Whatever. I don't want to sell it based on how much money I'm making from the affiliate offers. I would want to sell it based on how much that company or person can earn for, if they have their own software in this vertical. Okay, I got $39,000 from it last year, but that's because that was 10%. I know that the company keeps 40%, so how much could they really make from that? Okay, 4 times as much, 160. Okay, we're gonna use that number. We're not gonna use what I got. We're gonna go off what you can get, because it's different. So there's that. What I earned last year, and again, like I said earlier, as long as the site makes more than it made the month of the last year, I'm happy, or somewhat related to it. Then you can see there's a difference here. Boom. What was it making last year? Yeah, $1,600 in January of 2022. Sorry, not last year. Last year as of last year. $1,600 in January of 2022 and end the month 43. And this year it was what? 38 in January and then 54 in December. So still on the incline, still going up to the right. I'm cool with that. What was the median? Median average of 5,300. The median is not here. I think it might be this 54.10. Maybe this 53.94. I don't know. That's that. So this year activities rather. Right now I got a bunch of spreadsheets in a whole different window that are kind of just breaking down every single post by impressions from Google Search Console, and I'm going into those articles and just updating the information and adding more content, making sure our images have alt tags and everything like that. Alt tag, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, it's morning. Cheers. Just going in and making sure every existing post is as good as I can possibly make it at this point in my, in my journey. So it's tightening up introductions and maybe just get rid of introductions and just creating a summary. Making sure call to actions are on point. Setting up like emails for articles. If it's information based, I can say, okay, like creating email triggers where if somebody goes and visits SAS number 1, they get added to the SAS number 1 email drip, and it's just information with like affiliate links, or like just go back to the website and click around, read more, go to the e-commerce site, buy something there that's related to that SAS 1 or whatever, things like that. So I'm going through and create those. Video if necessary as well. Although for whatever reason my like my videos on the site aren't being indexed anymore because according to GSC, they are not like the primary media on the page. So no big deal. I'm removing videos from the pages just because it slows down the page load because I'm not a technical wizard. I don't know how to defer that yada yada bullshit. So removing those, and then if they're just on YouTube collecting views, doing their thing over here, great. Yeah, there's a lot more I could talk about, but I didn't write any of this down. We're riffing here. We're off the cuff. So, bye.